Does anybody remember being that starry-eyed, nervous, and somewhat awkward teenager waiting outside of your first job interview? Now, it may not have been the job of your dreams, but at least it'll provide you with the fast cash that you need on an everyday basis. To this day, I remember who I was before working in high school and who I was after working in high school as a teenager, and I think everybody can agree that experiencing a job in high school can be life-changing and beneficial. Having a job during your teenage years teaches kids the essential adult life skills that they need for later on. As less and less teenagers work in high school, the generation as a whole is slowly but surely losing things such as communication skills, work ethic, and also money management skills. And requiring teens to work in high school would help teach these kids all these skills that they're missing out on. First, I'm going to explain how and why they are becoming less and less prepared for adult life, and then I'm going to explain how a job would help them with all these skills. So looking into why and their kids are not learning these skills, and it really boils down to the high schools themselves. High schools are not providing classes that provide the basic skills such as time management, money management, things like that. And that's mainly because a lot of states across the nation introduced Common Core, and Common Core is defined as a system of high-quality academic standards in math and English with learning goals that outline when and what a student should know by the end of the year. So this basically is for math and English, as it says, and it's basically just a system. It doesn't teach you anything other than information. It doesn't teach you anything with skills, doesn't teach you anything like that for later on in life. And exactly, as I said, it doesn't really prepare you for adult life, for students that aren't going into college after high school. It doesn't prepare them for joining the workforce. It doesn't do any of that. It really only prepares you to go and study more when you go off into college. And another thing is, high school classes are centered around, as I said, math, English, and also the sciences. When I was in school, I was required to take 3.5 years of math, 4 years of English, and 3 years of science. Now, those were the only required classes that I had to take. And there were electives such as like cooking, art, things like that nature, but those were not required. And there were no classes at all for learning the skills like taxes, things that adults would need later on in life. And one of the things is like elective classes could probably be switched, but then again, it doesn't provide kids with the communication skills that are forced when you're on a job. All right, so now that we know how and why they're becoming less and less skillful, we can look at how having a job in high school would actually be beneficial to them. So first, it teaches money management, and it gives teens an idea of a budget, and it also teaches them to save money for big spending, or if a big item, or if they just need it for later on in life. According to a study by Jamie Clayton titled "How Much Does the Average Teen Spend?", an average college-age student could spend up to $3,000 in a semester. Now that could be high, that could be low, but that's just an average. And that includes like books and entertainment, going out for food, stuff like that. Working prior to college can provide students with spending money that they need for college, but also can prepare them for working in college so they're not thrown right away. It's not too stressful for them right off the bat. And according to that same study by Jamie, the average student going to college should bring $1,500 to $3,000 with them as spending money. Another thing that working in high school does with money management is it opens the world of banking. It teaches you how to set up an account, it teaches you how to withdraw money, it teaches you how to deposit money, things like that. In an article titled "Learn About Setting Up a Checking Account for Teens," written by Madison Dupay, teens as young as 13 are actually eligible to open up a checking account as long as their parents are able to co-sign. And learning these skills this young only builds you up for when you're on your own and you're actually doing it for yourself without a parent's cosign. It can also further develop your skills such as work ethic and social etiquette. And it's a fact that forming workplace habits improves your work ethic, and that basically means things like showing up on time, doing the right thing while you're there, making sure you're not goofing off or taking breaks, things along that matter. And an article written by Scott H. Young titled How to Build Work Ethic in 2017 states that the 3 best things an employee can do to build their work ethic is show up on time, set a schedule for the projects that you have on your job, and also eliminating breaks while you're on the job. And all these things can be done at a basic job. It's not a career that you have to have in an office that teaches you these things. You can learn these things at a McDonald's. You can learn these things when you're 14. You can learn these things when you're 21, when you're 40. It really doesn't matter. So learning it young is very essential. It also teaches you how to balance things like school and work, time management. When you have all 3 things coming together, personal life, school, and work, it teaches you how to really set time aside for what events, shows you what's important and what's not. And it also develops your social etiquette. You're going to be paired with employees that you like, some that you don't like, but either way you're going to be forced to work with them. And according to a study by Accountants, 8 out of 10 people say that being courteous to coworkers had an impact on their career. And that's just general life knowledge. You know, it's going to be easier to work with somebody if you are willing to work with them. And learning that at a younger age also helps with college classes, working later in life, things along that nature. And then also teaches you how to work with customers. It teaches people how to come out of their shell, talk to new people on the spot, not be anxious when you're talking to new people, because that is a problem with today's society and generation is people are nervous to go out and talk to new people for whatever reason. And when you're forced to do it, it kind of makes it easier. So as you can see, there are numerous reasons to why teens should be required to work a job in high school. And I shared today how and why they're becoming less and less prepared for adult life, and I also provided you with how having a job in high school can help prepare you for adult life. There is a generation losing the basic human skills, and there needs to be, and requiring teens to have a job before they graduate will only help prepare all of us for adult life and prepare us for the future. Thank you. I'll just hand it to the audience.
Little dog is good.